Okay, and we are live. This is the second annual Questionathon, but the first live Questionathon for the Mr. Red Fox channel, formerly Mr. El Zorro Rojo, which translated from Spanish is Mr. Red Fox. So I have three sets of questions here. Some are from past videos that I hadn't yet set up the discussion feed for questions, and some are from the discussion feed leading up to this questionathon. So let's get it started. And the third are from a few Google questions that I got from people who liked my questions from some of the kids I tutored. Okay. First question is from Albedo238. He says this is a question from a video where I was basically talking about how Capcom's been going wrong, and his question starts out with a comment. I think a better example for the whole Capcom shitting on Inafune's legacy would have been saying how Masahiro Sakurai left Nintendo to form Sora Limited, and yet Nintendo never did put Kirby on the back burner. Hell, Nintendo was still grateful to Sakurai for his work that they still have him working on the Super Smash Bros. Game. I mean, seriously, what did Inafune do to piss off Capcom so much? Whoever the CEO of that company is, they really need to do some growing up and stop appeasing the Western markets by creating these games that lack the charm of the games this company used to make. It really is depressing. I just hope for the love of Joss Whedon that Mighty No. 9 hasn't been canned, even after the successful Kickstarter it got. What do you think? Okay, that's a lot of questions, but this is the Questionathon. We have a good amount of time to cover everything. What did Inafune do to piss off Capcom? The thing is like, Inafune was the one who made the Mega Man games. And it turns out he was the one who was a lot of the creative force behind a lot of Capcom stuff. Like, he did Dead Rising. He made Lost Planet. He did Mega Man. So basically, when he left, the creative talent left with him because he took a lot of people with him. And what you had left were the dregs, and you cannot expect the C team to do what the B team and the A team can do. So, I mean, the thing is, like, Capcom can't make those games anymore. They don't have the talent for it. And is Mighty No. 9 going to be canned? No. Mighty No. 9 is not going to be canned, simply because it made too much money, and Keiji Inafune knows how to make games. Like, he really knows how to make games. And, you know, that's just how it is. The only time the Mega Man games were canceled was because Capcom canceled them. I think he would have done it if he had the money and the time. So that question is to answer Albedo238's question. Okay, now on to our second question from Sonic2Bat. If the creator of Mega Man left the company, then the game may not be up to the quality if they decided to continue. We've seen games started by one studio being handled by other studios in the past. The difference with Miyamoto is that he has trained teams at Nintendo onto what makes a quality game. Has anyone noticed that the companies that jumped ship from Nintendo to Sony during the PS1 era are now experiencing problems staying solvent? I've noticed it. The fact of the matter is that Sony really dropped the ball. I mean, they really dropped the ball. The companies that basically jumped ship from Nintendo, the thing is like, Nintendo focused on gameplay first, everything else second. I mean, they had enough power to make your games look impressive if you knew the hardware, but really your game had to be solid before you did anything else. Sony, on the other hand, focused on graphics. But the thing about graphics is that we're reaching the point where it's so expensive to make graphics better that, I mean, you have to go back to focusing on gameplay. But they've spent PS1, PS2, PS3. They spent 3 generations focusing on nothing but graphics and everything else second. So it's hard to go back. It's hard to go back to making high-quality games that play well. It's the reason why Sony has David Cage, and I don't care what anyone says, David Cage's games are glorified FMV games that we played 20 years ago on the Laserdisc. Like those FMV games where you press the direction to move, in a QuickTime event. I mean, this isn't new. This isn't revolutionary. It's just an expansion of what we already had 20 years ago. And the Nintendo curse, which is what you're talking about, is very relevant. All the companies that basically screwed over Nintendo aren't doing well. Capcom isn't doing well. Square Enix isn't doing well. THQ is dead. EA is losing money. I'm telling you, man, that Nintendo curse is tough. Sonic 2-Bat. Okay, I hope that answers your question, Sonic 2-Bat. Okay, number 3 is from Astrinzitia. What DS game what games for the DS will I say that are awesome? The DS has a huge library of great games. I mean, if you like platformers, it has great platformers. If you like RPGs, it has great RPGs. Basically, I would go to Google. I would Google great DS games, and you could find tons of them. And they're cheap. You can get them cheap off of Amazon or any type of retailer. Why? My number. I hope that answered your question, Astrinzitia. The 4th question comes from 1Jam229. Why are Link's Awakening and A Link Between Worlds ranked so high when Ganon is not the final boss? Are you counting the Oracle games as one game, or are they tied for 9th place? This was in my top Zelda games. The reason Link's Awakening and Link Between Worlds are ranked so high is because they're very similar. They're both handheld games, and if you haven't played Link Between Worlds, Ganon is, technically speaking, the final boss. Technically speaking, he is. I rank the Oracle's games as lower because they count as one game, and really, you can tell that they weren't made by Nintendo. They're Capcom games. Nothing wrong with them. Capcom used to be able to make really good games, but there's certain aspects of them that make them not as good as as games made by Nintendo. Zelda games made by Nintendo. I mean, it's not their fault. It's just, and the reason I ranked Link's Awakening and Link Between Worlds so high is pretty darn simple. Both of them are handheld Zelda games that I have been playing the hell out of. Link's Awakening I played the hell out of when it came out, and so much so that I knew where everything was. And Link Between Worlds I've played so much of that I've discovered where everything is, and I'm still, oh, that's a great game. It's very good. And this is my opinion. Number 5 question from Albedo238 yet again. I don't know how some people would need this, and I doubt it would help the Xbox One's chances in the future, but one thing Microsoft needs to do is to drop Halo. I mean, sure, it's a money machine for Microsoft, but seeing as Bungie is no longer exclusive to Microsoft, so the Halo games won't have the soul or heart they used to have. Plus, we already finished the fight in Halo 3. What more do I need to say? The thing about Halo is that people don't play Halo for the story. They really don't. People play Halo for the multiplayer. So, I mean, technically speaking, they could take the Halo assets and just have it be a multiplayer-only game, and I guarantee that there will be Xbox One fans who will love it to death. So, that's all I'm saying. There's just no real way. There's no real way to get out of it. There's no real way to. I mean, Halo is here to stay. Do I like Halo? I personally could take it or leave it, but I mean, a lot of people love it, and I mean, I can't. They really love Halo. I mean, I personally am less than enthused about it, but what the hey. Okay, then. That's to Albedo238. Number 6. This is from Furious Francis over at PlayerEssence.com. This is when I was talking about in my I want to give you my money extravaganza, where I talked about games that I want Nintendo to make. He said, we just got a Paper Mario game. Too much Paper Mario, dude. LOL. Too much paper. They already did the paper thing with Zelda and the paintings on the wall. Why do I like paper so much? I like the Paper Mario series because it gives you a different view of the Mushroom Kingdom. It lets you see things from a different point of view. That gives you a deeper understanding of what goes on besides just running and jumping on enemies and defeating Bowser. There's more to it than that, and I like that, so I would love to see more of it, so that's why I like Paper Mario. Okay, this number 7 question is from Joshua Hennigan. Okay, this was when I made my this question is in response to when I made my Indiana vid. And basically his question is, isn't it true that all games minus big developers start out as indie? Generally speaking, all games start out as indie. Nintendo is a special thing because Nintendo has always been a gaming company. When I say this, I mean in the truest sense of the word. Like, they started out with Hanafuda cards, which are like playing cards basically, and then they branched out into making Disney playing cards, and then they were losing money, and so Yamauchi basically said, we're going to get into the video game business, and well, the rest is history. But I mean, Nintendo was kind of a big deal in Japan with their Hanafuda cards to start with, so yeah. But generally speaking, you're right. Every developer starts out as an indie. Generally speaking, a smaller studio that has a limited budget and can only focus on one project at a time. Like, they don't have the resources for huge amounts of things. But, I mean, you know, indies have strengths and weaknesses, and if you follow my Indiana, if you go look at my Indiana vid, you'll see that indies have strengths and weaknesses, and sometimes their strength is also their weakness. Okay, this next question is from Mythosa. Man, what's with the shoving stuff up people's butts? LOL. Basically, it sounds incredibly painful, so I use it as a euphemism for something forced that most people don't want done to them that is painful. I think I'll try and find a different pejorative slang term, since some people are finding it offensive. Number 9, this is from Zoe2007. Hey, do I like the Super Mario Brothers Z series? I did, until the dude stopped making them, and I heard he's gonna try and do a comeback, but I think the fire has left. Personally speaking, I think the fire has left. And what makes that a very good series, because you have to kind of strike while the iron is hot. You know. Number 10 from Dat Hip or Dathip. Sorry if I butchered your name, sir. Hypothetically speaking, entertaining the hypothetical. If Sega announces their third game on Wii U as Shenmue 3 as an exclusive, how would you feel about it, and how would fans react to that? Me personally, I would love it because I love the first Shenmue and I like the second Shenmue, and I think fans would love it to death. I think fans would buy it. I think fans would buy it, but the haters and fanboys would get really upset and be really pissed off that Shenmue came about. But you have to remember something. Shenmue's spiritual successor is Yakuza. I mean, they basically have a very similar gameplay. You wander around a huge city, asking questions, having random battles, and beating the hell out of people. except Yakuza has a bit more of a badass looking protagonist than Ryu Hasa. Well, the dude from Shenmue. I forgot his name. Okay then. But ultimately, I think there will be a lot of fanboys begging Sega, port begging for that game. Okay, this next question comes from Butterworthy. Do I foresee any major shakeups within the industry in 2014? If so, what? Try to think of something that doesn't rhyme with Sapsom. Okay, I will try to find something that doesn't rhyme with Sapsom. I think Square Enix, I think Lightning Returns is going to bomb in America, because from what I've seen of it, it's not a Final Fantasy game. Not in the traditional sense of the term. I don't think Square Enix knows how to make RPGs anymore, like console RPGs anymore. So, like, there's like someone over there is going to get fired or forced to resign or something. And I think we'll finally see Dragon Quest X brought over, but it's going to be different than what it is in Japan. It's either going to turn into a free-to-play model, like you buy the game and then you don't have to pay anything else, like in the vein of a Guild Wars 1 or 2 with microtransactions to augment it, or it's going to turn into a or they're just going to drop the subscription model and change it into a single-player game. But, I mean, I don't think Square Enix has the money for that because, I don't know, whatever. This, number 12, is from Edward Delgado. Or Edward Delgado. Hey, bro, I like your video. They are very informative. Here's my question. Will we ever see a new Mega Man game from Capcom? I've been buying and playing tons of Mega Man games lately for the 3DS and soon on Wii U, and I wonder if Capcom has really given up on the franchise. That's his first question. His second question is, what is your favorite top 5 series in gaming? Okay, I'll tackle his first one first. Will we ever see a new Mega Man game from Capcom? I hope we do, but I don't see it happening because, as I stated earlier, they don't have the creative talent to make a Mega Man game anymore. They don't want to take the risk. They don't have the money to really fund one, and they don't want to take the risk to make it. So I think they've given up on Mega Man. You know, they released Remember Me, which was a new IP that they hyped up, and that game did not sell well at all. It bombed, as a matter of fact. So that was money that they lost, okay, on a new IP, right? You know, Capcom at this point is desperately trying to find something to revitalize themselves, but every time they use something that works, they take 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Like Monster Hunter made them a lot of money, and then they basically took 2, and that was 1 step forward. Then they took 2 steps back by saying, well, we're going to take that money and put it into a mobile gaming studio. I mean, that's enough on that. The second part of your question, my top 5 series in gaming. Let's see. Number 1, the old school Final Fantasy series. Number 2, the old school Dragon Quest series. Number 3, I really am a fan of Street Fighter, the old Street Fighter, like just Street Fighter 2 actually, but I really like Street Fighter 2. And number 4 is Mega Man. I actually do like Mega Man. And number 5, my top favorite series in gaming is The Legend of Zelda. Love Legend of Zelda. Okay, question number 13 comes from the Fox Shot. Okay, awesome work on your videos, Red Fox. I just want to know if there's any chance Square Enix will change their minds and put Kingdom Hearts 3 on Wii U, since the game is still at the start of development. Like how Final Fantasy 13 was originally going to be a PS3 exclusive, but it got ported to Xbox 360 in the end. It just feels wrong that both Xbox and PlayStation 4 are getting the game when Kingdom Hearts did very well on the Game Boy Advance, DS, and 3DS. They should give the Wii U a chance. I agree with you. Fox shot, but it's not going to happen because Square Enix is run by idiots. I mean, me personally, I could care less because I don't like Kingdom Hearts, but that's my own personal opinion. And we have some more questions that have come in from Darker Phoenix 1. Shout out to Darker Phoenix. Go watch his videos. They're awesome. They have me roll on the floor sometimes with some of his rants. Okay, so here we go. His first question is, what do I think about Hard 8 Times and Broken Games HD saying that the reason they aren't bigger is because of their skin color? I would say, have they seen Andre the Black Nerd? I mean, he's huge. I think the problem with Hard 8 Times is that it's how he sounds. And Broken Games, I mean, Broken Games is just really annoying. I mean, he just really is really annoying. He just really, oh God. I mean, the thing is, it's like how you basically present yourself. Like, you know, it's really hard for me to, like, I'm not even going to try and imitate Hard 8 Times, but I mean, I listened to a few of his videos, and like he's a little too bombastic and comes across as like uncouth with some things. And Broken Games, I mean, he's a Sony fanboy, if I remember correctly. Broken Games is a Sony fanboy, and because I remember early on when I first joined YouTube and I subscribed to his videos, and I left him a question, and I was like, this was during E3 last year, and I was like, yeah, well, you know, Nintendo is actually bringing the E3 experience to people, you know, that can't make it there, and, you know, and no one's saying anything about that, and the dude never responded. I mean, he's such a fanboy. Darker Phoenix's second question is, what's my favorite generation of Pokemon? I like the first generation. That's the first. I mean, because to me, like, the first Pokemon game I played was Pokemon Red. I borrowed it from a friend, and I chose a Charmander, and the rest is history. Like, I just, like, to me, every other starter set for each other generation has been garbage compared to the original starters. Because you just can't beat that Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur. You just can't. I mean, you can't beat it. It's so cool. But that's my own personal opinion. Let's see if we have any other questions. Nope. That's all of them. That's all the questions. So, I guess that is the end of the Questionathon. So, now that we've done that, that brings us to the end of our official open Questionathon. Thank you to all the people who subscribed, who submitted questions. Thank you to everyone who subscribed and watched. Thank you to all the people that have helped make this Questionathon be relatively successful. Let's hope next time we have a live one that we can have more questions submitted, so that we can have it go a little bit longer. Yeah, look forward to my new content coming out next week. A new part of my channel that's going to focus on movies. So I hope you guys enjoy it. We're moving on towards the end of our channel. The end. So you guys have a good night. Be safe. I'm going to go get some dinner in a little bit. So you guys chill out and have fun. Goodbye.